The first 3 months of 2023 saw former President Donald Trump raise money at a similar rate to the post-midterm weeks after the start of his 2022 campaign. The Federal Election Commission was expecting to receive updated records documenting campaign spending and fundraising from January through March on Saturday. From January through March, the Trump campaign reported raising more than $14.4 million. His joint fundraising committee raised an additional $4.4 million, bringing the total raised by the group to $18.8 million. In the first 6.5 weeks of his campaign, Trump raised over $1.5 million each week, amounts that indicated his campaign needed a boost. After Trump was charged last month with paying hush money to 2 women, his team claimed the fundraising boom continued into April despite the indictment being delivered on March 30, one day before the first fundraising session came to an end. Trump listed 25 people on his payroll in his first quarter filing, including veteran political aide Jason Miller, and disclosed spending close to $162,000 in expense categories with the term legal in them. Trump is under investigation for his alleged role in attempting to have the 2020 election in Georgia overturned, his alleged role in planning the riot on January 6 at the Capitol, and his handling of classified documents in 2 federal investigations. As of March 31, Trump's campaign had $13.9 million in its bank account, but several of his competitors for the GOP nominee appear to be well-funded. Senator Tim Scott, R. South Carolina, had $21.9 million more in his Senate campaign account, which he could transfer to a presidential run if he decides to officially get involved. Nikki Haley's campaign had $4.6 million in cash on hand, and Vivek Ramaswamy has not yet submitted his first quarter fundraising report. Trump's campaign floats in modest donations from his email list, while donors who donate the maximum primary contribution of $3,300 won't be able to contribute further support to their selected campaign unless that candidate wins the nomination. Senator Kyrsten Sinema, an independent from Arizona, raised more than $2.1 million in the first 3 months of this year, largely thanks to big money investors and some donors from Rep. Ruben Gallego, a Democrat from Arizona, has declared that he will seek the party's candidacy for senator in 2019. Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland, a Democrat who has been in the Senate since 2007, raised barely $15,000 in the first quarter of this year, stoking suspicions that he might be resigning. Democratic reps Janie Raskin and David Trone have been mentioned as potential replacements for him in the predominantly Democratic state. Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, is also considering his options and hasn't ruled out running for president or the Senate again. Every contest will be significant in the battle for the House, because Democrats only need a net gain of 5 members to take over the chamber. Rep. Ken Calvert, R. Calif, a 2-decade veteran of the House, was drawn into an unexpectedly competitive election in 2022 and won by a mere 5 points. Rep. John Duarte of California, a fellow Republican, raised about $600,000 in the year's first 3 months. He won by barely 0.4% in the 2022